Come guys to Uncle Butcher, I will show you some magic tricks how to get amplified weapon damage whenever you want. And of course, as usual, I never miss my shots. Oh shit.
You gotta be shitting me!
Guys, this setup will make your enemies bleed for a couple months. But still it's broken, man. I will still send you to the checkpoint, you mother lover.
He needs some milk! I am a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
Guys, if you are looking for fresh PvP PvE build which is unstoppable, welcome to Insanity. Oh my goodness guys, I think you have never seen something quite like this where your agent can actually die, take its time with that nasty respawn time, and once you will be back in the game you will still see your applied bleed effect on your enemies. And trust me, in conflict that's so goddamn nasty, especially when you have one or two medkits with one only bullet. You will force your enemies to use a medkit, and that's by itself huge achievement. You can apply bleed effect across the map. You have no range limitation with this. You have no cooldowns whatsoever. And of course we're gonna use some broken mechanics in the game right now. And in our case we're gonna use ongoing directive and jammer pulse combo. Maybe you didn't know, but actually jammer pulse will apply status effect in the game right now, aka disrupt, and with that you're gonna destroy your enemy skills. And this is the moment where your exploit will kick in. Guys, to receive amplified weapon damage boost from ongoing directive you should kill status affected agents, but the game doesn't understand what is what, and by killing your enemy skills with status effect from your jammer pulse you will receive immediately halo point ammo in your magazine, and on top of that you will have bleed bullets, and those have no range limitations. And if you're gonna use Sadist, which will amplify your damage by extra 20%, and Sadist has no cooldown or no range limitation as well, that's game over, and that bleed effect will follow you forever. But of course I will tell all you need to know how to optimize this setup for PvP and PvE. We have some differences, so stay tuned for my build guide. We have a lot to cover today, but this setup is ridiculous. But before we continue, today I want to recommend to you my partners, a site for boosting services, dwing.net. If you want to get an eagle or any other exotic, as well as equip a cool build using items from the dark zone, then these guys will help you to get this and much more in a short time. They have updated prices and deadlines for all services. The boost works with account sharing, so they do everything for you without cheats or bug abuse. I have tested this service myself, so I can recommend you these guys easily. They can be trusted, man. And of course with my promo code you will get 15% discount on all services. This site has been working for many years. It has a lot of clients, reviews and payment methods, man. If you didn't get my promo code or you have any questions, feel free to type your message and operator will reply immediately. But now let's get back to my ongoing directive predator build, and I think it's really worthy of this title, predator build. One of the best predator builds out there for sure, but I have to warn you that it's really hard to find ongoing directive pieces with status effect on. It's not that hard to find, for example, a system corruption pieces, but unfortunately you can't craft any of ongoing directive set pieces. So I tried to find my luck in DZ, and at the end I got some decent rolls. I don't have any god rolls, because it's DZ, Dark Zone, my RNG sucks, and in general loot quality is pretty terrible. You need 1000 items and maybe one of all that list will be god tier, so man, it's pretty goddamn tricky to find ongoing directive with status effect because you want to roll armor core attribute or skill tiers for extra skill damage. Guys, in general, if you want to be updated all the best PvE builds, you know where you have to be. And with no further ado, let's get into it. For specialization we're gonna use Technician because it will provide us with one extra skill tier which will increase, of course, for example, our shield health, stinger hive damage, of course our decoy health, you name it, whatever skill you're gonna use, that extra skill tier will help you a lot. But on top of that, you have of course skill damage boost and linked laser pointer attachment. If you didn't know, you can actually apply a linked laser pointer attachment on Vector, Police M4 assault rifle, Carbine 7, but Vector is one of the best SMGs in the game right now, of course after Lady Dead, but Vector is my go-to SMG. Crazy RPM, base damage out of this world, and Sadist amplified weapon damage. It is all you need, guys. So Technician specialization will give you skill tier, skill damage, linked laser pointer attachment, and pretty handy disrupt grenades as well, which again will be counted as status effects. So you can basically apply status effect, and even with those grenades by destroying skills, you will receive halo ammo point. So for my main weapon I'm using Vector. Of course my numbers are not that great, but since we are using SMG class, crit chance is pretty decent. But everything is about base weapon damage, raw amplified weapon damage. For my second weapon I'm using Police M4 with InSync. In this case InSync will increase our stinger hive damage, or maybe if you want to run sticky bombs damage, and by 30% you will get as well weapon damage boost. So InSync is really handy here. Unfortunately with perfect InSync you can't use linked laser pointer attachment, so I'm stuck with Police M4, and it has really nice for mid-range fights. For pistol I'm using Named pistol, which will give me one extra skill tier, of course with Sadist on. For the gear I'm using 4 pieces from ongoing directive, and ongoing directive will give me status effect boost and of course reload speed, and reload speed by itself will increase immediately your DPS output. But main thing here, guys, is that you should look out for gear pieces with status effect attribute. Unfortunately, that can be pretty tricky task because you can't craft any of ongoing directive gear set pieces. Unfortunately, I tried my luck in DZ. I got some nice rolls, but they are not god rolls by any means, and in general, even on legendary difficulty, loot quality can be terrible. Definitely your eyebrows will be raised. But check out the nasty bleed effect. I'm not doing any damage with my weapons to those mobs, and they are dying all over the place only from bleed effect. For chest piece I'm using Golem with status effect on. Guys, with Spotter, like I said, linked laser pointer attachment will activate Spotter immediately, and that will amplify not only my weapon damage, skill damage, but bleed effect as well, guys. Spotter will amplify all damage sources from your build, and in this case bleed effect as well, and you can see enemies through the walls, and that's huge benefit. It's like cheating. You can adjust your fighting or battle plan accordingly by your enemy movement, so that's really handy. Spotter is really nice talent, but in this case it's super amazing because it will amplify your weapon damage, skill damage, and bleed effect, and Golem by itself will give you extra status effect as well. But you have second option for PvP and PvE. You could use RIDGEWAYS exotic pride chest piece. This bad boy will apply bleed effect immediately, so you don't have to look for any other skills. You could use, for example, now shield as your second skill, and with that you will get get armor regen, but I guess armor regen in this setup is not that necessary, especially with this time to kill. Yeah, it's handy, but you lose weapon damage, guys. Golem will give you more bleed effect out of this build, of course, and this setup is all about bleed. For backpack, you should use, of course, only ongoing directive for maximum bleed, duration and damage. Ongoing directive backpack will be nightmare for your enemies. You will apply bleed effect and it will stick with them for too long. I would say for too long. It should receive nerf, and that amplified weapon damage from Hello Ammo and Sadist. And don't forget you have Spotter, so you have 55% amplified weapon damage. 55% amplified weapon damage, and you can play around with other skills like big shield with your Liberty pistol maybe. Again, this build will give you diversity, but for PvE side you could use Memento backpack. But for PvP, I forgot. Excuse me, I got a little bit too excited about this setup. So for PvE you could use actually Memento backpack, since you don't need that ridiculous bleed effect, get tokens, and that will basically seal the deal. But for PvP, if you're a solo player, or maybe if you want more weapon damage, you could use Wicked. You can again apply bleed effect, and you can pair it up with RIDGEWAYS spray chest piece, and perfect combo. You will apply bleed from RIDGEWAYS spray chest piece, Wicked will be activated, use perfect Wicked talent, and that's on Golem backpack. So again, perfect synergy, or stick with Spotter and Jammer pulse. So again, it depends on your preference. You have couple options how to run this setup. For gloves, I'm using Petros gloves with damage to armor and status effect attributes. I did my tests, of course, with Firm's handshake gloves with SMG damage, but as turned out, I will get more bleed damage from Petros gloves, and damage to armor will be applied to my police and for assault rifle as well. So that's pretty good trade-off. I'm losing 2% damage for my SMG, but I receiving more bleed damage, and my assault rifle will hit harder. For knee pads, ongoing directive, holster, ongoing directive, I'm using skill tiers, 3 skill tiers. With my pistol I have 4 skill tiers. Of course, offensive core attributes everywhere, status effect. For skills you should use Stinger Hive, Jammer Pulse, Shield or Sticky Bomb. Thank you for watching. Butcher's dropping the mic. See you in the next one.